Welcome to the AI Business News Desk. I'm Terry Sweeney, contributing editor to AI Business, and joining me now is Yvette Schmitter, CEO and co-founder of Fusion Collective. Yvette, welcome to News Desk.
So happy to be here with you, Terry.
We appreciate you taking some time to do this. It's become kind of almost a meme to talk about the AI spending frenzy as an arms race, and it's a good analogy. You've used this term to describe it. From your perspective, what's at stake here with AI and all the spending that we're seeing?
You know what, Terry? I tell people this. If you get an unlimited budget and don't have to make any money, who
I'm-
wouldn't want to do that kind of business?
Yeah, I'm liking the sound of it.
Right. It's just like I can ask for as much money as possible and don't have to turn a profit. And I think that's where we are with AI. I think the end user is being bamboozled. I like to say this. If you want to catch raccoons, use shiny objects. But that's not how you run a business, right? It's just not, right? And I think Sam Altman's code red, it's not because of innovation. No, he is straight up in panic mode. His biggest competitor has a war chest the size of Google. So he can't just spend money because Google is going to move up a notch. So this race to what? No one really knows, but they're just spending gobbles amount of money to do it with no outcome.
It also feels like a lot of money being spent to use consumers as guinea pigs to see which AI use case is really going to catch fire.
But again, it's not really about use case, it's more about attention. So the amount of energy to power these models, to compute, no one's talking about that.
Sure.
The world is on fire. It was on fire before AI. So how do you think the data centers that power the models so that you can, watch squirrels fly planes, where do you think that energy is coming from?
Sure.
And it's like we are already in a climate crisis. So in order to power the models, it requires compute, which requires energy in a data center that's on a grid that is on a house of cards that we are all paying for. So that gives off heat. Where are you going to get the water to cool it? No one's shifting left, but go ahead. Create squirrel videos.
Well, it's a lot of money to create squirrel videos. The contenders in this arms race are the oligarchs who are
I like that.
trying
the oligarchs.
trying to dominate and be like the AI equivalent of like what Google was to search, what Microsoft was to the desktop. That sort of like it feels to me like those may be the stakes.
Those are the stakes on your data
Right.
that they haven't
Right.
paid for.
Right.
But they got you on Facebook because you wanted to know if you were like a elf witch or a werewolf witch. All those personality tests you take, you're feeding the monster that sells the data to train the models,
Right.
to create the squirrel videos, to eat up the energy that we don't have. So people don't understand. It's just like Microsoft is talking about building data centers in space. So we have an energy crisis. You won't spend the money to solve the energy crisis, but you're going to build a space station for a data center to
Well-
run your models for squirrels?
It is cold there. I mean, there's that.
Okay.
Well, but so to this through line of money being spent, Anthropic just paid a $1.5 billion fine to a group of authors who sued for basically a violation of copyright. Are billion-dollar fines just the cost of doing business?
Yes, it is. But I'll ask any creative. You stayed up, you had inspirations, you watched the sunset, you were sipping tea and had this thought. You took the energy to create something and innovate and create something magical that Anthropic scraped off the internet because it was on your website
Right.
to train its model. So when someone says, hey, rewrite this email like, the snarky tone of Yvette Schmitter, they did that off of my data,
Sure.
off of my website. They're not going to give me attribution. But, some Karen over there is going to have an email that sounds spicy just like me.
Let's shift gears slightly to something less spicy, which is legislation. Legislators are pushing AI civil rights laws. Are we finally at an inflection point where ethics moves from just nice to have to actually being something that gets enforced?
Terry, oh my gosh. Let me just say something.
Don't disappoint.
I mean, at the end of the day, don't hold your breath, because the reason why these civil rights AI usage laws are coming up is because irreparable harm is happening. It's not someone's thought. Like, people
Sure.
have lost lives, lost their livelihood, didn't get jobs. Like, it's really, really needed. But let me tell you something else. Mark Zuckerberg just bought compound house, like whatever, in Washington, D.C. Meta spent just so far in 2025 $19 million to lobby. Do you know that they have on staff 86 lobbyists? Let me break that down for you. That means they could lobby every senator every day. They have enough lobbyists on their payroll to do that. I don't think that the big tech lobbying firms, like, they're not going to allow any type of regulation. And currently, our current administration, they don't want any type of regulation because, hey, we got to innovate, we got to beat whoever, and
Right,
hey,
right.
got to do that. Can't have rules.
All right. Well, so we shouldn't count on the legislators to save our hides.
No.
Again, to shift gears to large language models, you said that LLMs are fundamentally built to protect words, not humans.
Yes.
People still largely just accept, though, what they spit out as the truth. How do we start to bust up the idea that everything that comes back to me through, say, ChatGPT, for example,
I gotta actually verify.
is accurate, or that I need to take another step here?
I love this term. It's a legal term. It's called the presumption of regularity. And people assume that big companies are going to do the right thing. They're not going to put anything out there that's going to hurt us, right? And that since the computer spit it out, it has to be right, which is not correct. I mean, they put at the bottom of every prompt window, you see, like, Claude can be wrong, ChatGPT can make mistakes. No one's looking at that.
Yeah,
They're just
sure.
copying and pasting and moving forward. Same thing with medical specialists. They're getting something out of the prompt window. They're running with that, even though they've treated this patient for 10 years, but they're going to believe what comes out of the computer more than their own professional expertise and their own experience. So we have a lot to learn as the end users, that no, prediction models predict the next word. They don't predict context. They don't understand feeling, and they don't take in consideration one's lived experience.
Sure.
They just predict the next word, the next thing.
All right. Well, on the topic of distrust and verify, President Trump issued an executive order creating something called the Genesis mission. Take us out with some thoughts about what this entails for viewers who may not be familiar with it.
Well, I think we all heard about the Manhattan Project back in the day. That was like, ooh, let's build the atomic bomb. The Genesis missions is likened to that for AI, where they want to take all the data across all the federal government data sets and train it, and have select commercial partners, private sector, come in so that we can have this top edge AI. I think we all need a good lesson on trust but verify. Look, I grew up in a day where they told me to go outside and play, and you better be home before the street lights came on. Like, so I didn't have an iPad. I didn't have an iPhone. I was digging up ant hills, jumping dirt hills. I was doing all of that, but I was thinking, like, what's next? And I think we all need to get back to that type of mindset. Is that really true? And what do I really think? That's not a good idea.
All right. Well, Yvette, you've given us a lot to think about here. I so appreciate you stopping by News Desk to share some insights and some opinions. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Terry.
We've been talking with Yvette Schmitter of the Fusion Collective. This has been Terry Sweeney for AI Business. Thanks for joining us for this segment. We'll see you next time.